Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the origins of SAVATHUN, the Witch Queen. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. SAVATHUN, formerly known as Sathona, is a hive god and sister to Xivo Arath, the god of war, and Oryx, the Taken King. Together with her two siblings, she was a progenitor of the contemporary hive species and one of its chief gods, having made a pact with the worms of Fundament. She is driven to understand the deepest secrets of the universe, and gains power from the deception and confusion of those who seek to understand her unfathomable schemes. However, her true goals were revealed to undermine the Witness, and its goals of realizing the final shape, working her own secretive agenda from the inside to prevent humanity's extinction during the collapse, and to protect and preserve the Traveler at all costs. She had also schemed to free her kind from the Worm's pact she originally made back on Fundament, pursuing other means to acquire sustenance beyond the sword logic. For her actions, she would become reborn as the first Hive Lightbearer, with Amaru partnered as her ghost. With the two together created the Lucent Brood, as her own army of light-wielding hive. SAVATHUN was born Sathona on the planet Fundament. She was one of a short-lived species whose homeworld had crashed into Fundament millions of years earlier, with the shards of the planet forming Fundament's continents. The Osmium Court was one such continent, ruled by the Osmium King, and Sathona was his second-born daughter, older sister of Zero, and younger sister to Arish. The three sisters were tutored by Teox, a sterile mother, a proto-hive morph capable of spawning children, which also allowed them to live longer by eating mother jelly at adulthood. The proto-hive's harsh lives convinced Sathona at an early age to become a mother, not because she wanted children or feared dying, but because she wanted to live long enough to have meaning in her life. However, by the time her father turned 10 Fundament years, a lifetime by the standards of their species, he had discovered a dead worm on the shores of the Osmium Court, which he started tending to as a familiar, and began raving that the synergy, a prophesied disaster, would soon occur. While Arish took her father's warnings to heart, Teox concluded that the king was falling to senility in his old age, and that none of his daughters, which were 2 years old at the time, could properly rule the Osmium Court and protect it from the Helium Court, a rival kingdom. While acknowledging that Sathona was a brilliant thinker, Teox noted she could not fight. In desperation, Teox sent a message to the rulers of the Helium Court, the Helium Drinkers, saying that she would help them assassinate the king and his daughters if they installed her as their regent. The Helium Drinkers accepted Teox's proposal and attacked, killing the king but failing to kill his daughters. In the confusion, Sathona managed to steal her father's worm in their escape. Reaching Arish's ship, the three sisters made a blood oath to return and take vengeance, with Sathona vowing that she would become a mother and raise her spawn on the corpses of Helium Drinkers. Over the next year, the three sisters sailed the oceans of Fundament. During this time, Sathona began to hear her father's worm speak to her, guiding her to acts that would save the sisters over the year. Finally, the three sisters found a ship they named the Needle, built of high technology, but whose crew had died obscenely after hatching an egg from a creature that they could not recognize. Zero insisted that they sell the ship at the Kahar Natal, where the species of Fundament gathered, saying that an auction could raise them enough money to hire mercenaries to fight the Helium Drinkers. However, Sathona told Zero that the ship was worthless. Arish instead suggested that they repair the ship. With prompting from the worm, Sathona agreed with Arish and convinced Zero to repair the ship. Over the next 2 years, the sisters repaired the Needle, but by this point, the sisters were 5 years old. Sathona raised her fears that she would soon be too old to eat mother jelly, and that the sisters were unable to fulfill their oath. Arish said that the sisters had to dive beneath the oceans of Fundament, traveling to the planet's core. Zero warned that this was how the crew had died, but Sathona, urged on by the worm, agreed with Arish. The sisters took the Needle into the deep. They finally reached a point where they could use the ship's sensors on the oceans. To their horror, they discovered that the synergy was real, and that Fundament's moons had already aligned. Just then, they were encountered by the Leviathan, a creature long spoken of in proto-hive myth. The Leviathan warned the sisters that they needed to turn back, or else they would unleash disaster upon the universe, saying that they faced a choice between the light, which offered civilization, and the darkness, which only offered violence. However, the Leviathan offered no hope to the sisters to avoid this synergy. Sathona then revealed the worm's help to her sisters, and how it urged them to go down. Rejecting the Leviathan's warnings, the sisters dove into the core. Reaching the very center of Fundament, the three sisters found the worm gods Akka, Ir, Zol, and Yol. The worm gods offered the three sisters a chance for the proto-hive to escape Fundament, as well as achieve immortality. All they had to do was take the worm's larvae into them as symbiotes and spread them among the proto-hive. The worms posed the caveat that the sisters must never cease their natures. Zero must always test her strength, Sathona must always be cunning, and Arash must always try to understand. The sisters accepted the pact and became the first hive. Zero took the night morph and became Zivorath. Sathona took the mother morph and became SAVATHUN. And Arash took the king morph, transforming into a male and becoming Arix, the king of the hive. So, what did you guys think of the origins of SAVATHUN, the Witch Queen? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Sith Citadel Discord, links in the description, and consider becoming a join member or sending a super thanks if you wish to further support the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.